Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and I'm here to tell you that now, if you have Pokebank, you can get the Alolan Starters with their hidden abilities. So let's go over some of these abilities and see how they might change the way these Pokemon are played in VGC and singles. So we're going to start with Decidueye. So Decidueye has Long Reach. That means moves that normally would do contact don't make contact. So that's going to come in handy if you're going up against something with like Iron Barbs, Rough Skin, or even a Rocky Helmet. Or even stuff like Effect Spore, Static, abilities like that. For Decidueye, I honestly don't think it's going to change that much for it. It's not going to really help it that much in VGC style stuff, or even singles. It's an interesting thing to have for your Decidueye, to have like a different way of battling with it, but honestly, I think Overgrow might be a little bit better because you could, get some more power out of your grass type moves. So now we're going to go to Primarina. Primarina has the ability Liquid Voice, so that means any sound-based moves will become water type. And that is actually pretty nice, especially in VGC. So in singles, it doesn't really affect it that much, but in VGC, you could have Hyper Voice. That's now a water type Hyper Voice, and that's pretty cool. It will bypass Substitute and give you some stab. Also, I heard Perish Song. This is something I haven't tested out yet, but I heard Perish Song also becomes a water type, and it's also affected by other Pokemon's abilities. So Water Absorb means that it won't be affected by Perish Song. So if that's the case, like I said, I would like to try it out. But you could have a Pokemon with like Dry Skin or Water Absorb, stuff like that. You could send it out and have your Primarina go for a Perish Song, and it won't affect that Pokemon. Like I said, this is something I haven't tried out yet, but it would be pretty interesting if this is true. But yeah, I think this might actually help Primarina a little bit. It'll give something to hit both Pokemon in VGC. So Incineroar's hidden ability is probably the best one out of the three, and that is Intimidate. It's an ability that we've seen quite often, and with Incineroar, it already has some decent bulk, has some pretty good utility moves, and now you could bring it in with Intimidate, and I think this means that Incineroar might end up taking Arcanine's spot in VGC battles, because Incineroar, it's got dual stab, whereas Arcanine only has fire stab. Of course, there might be some reasons to go with Arcanine over Incineroar, but I think it's pretty cool that Incineroar now has something in its belt, in its fire utility belt, that's going to give it a lot more usage. And I think out of all these starters, Incineroar is going to benefit the best with the Intimidate ability. I think in singles, it's actually going to probably rise a little bit. Right now, it's sitting in Inu, if I remember correctly, maybe even Ryu. I think it's Ryu, yeah, it's Ryu. But right now, I think that means it's going to rise, because Intimidate's such a good ability, and plus, it's such a pretty bulky Pokemon already, so giving it Intimidate just means it's going to be really good, and I think it's got a place in VGC. So if you have Pokebank, go ahead, get your Alolan Starters with their hidden ability. Go ahead, start training them. They're going to be pretty cool to use, especially Incineroar. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you in the next Pokemon video.